What's up guys, welcome to another video. My name is Ndifon Ntui, and on this channel I make sewing tutorials. I post new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays, so please make sure to check back on those days in order to watch new content. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to make the shirt dress that you've seen in the thumbnail, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you like the video, please make sure to give it a like because it really helps the video go far. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you're a beginner, before I forget, if you're a beginner or if you are a person not to brush up on your skill, I offer online courses. If you're interested, send a telegram message to the number that you can see on the screen. I'll be showing a demo how to make a jumpsuit for you to watch and see if learning online will be convenient for you. Do have a lovely day. Bye bye. Alright, so you're welcome to today's video. In this video I'm going to show you how to make the shirt dress, a lined shirt dress. Okay, so you've seen the measurements already. Let's begin. The first thing you're going to do is on the edge of your paper. Now notice I've not put my paper on a fold, but I put my fabric on a fold. On the edge of your paper you want to mark 1.5 inch and draw a straight line from the top to the end of your paper. Now after you have connected the line together, the next thing you are going to do is to place all your regular measurements. Okay, so I'm going to come to the top now, draw a line from at the top here, half an inch. So from the edge to where this green line is half an inch. That's going to serve as my allowance for sewing at the shoulder. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all my vertical measurements. So vertical measurements are measurements that come from your shoulder and go down. For instance, the under bust length is your dress length, so those are vertical measurements. So to place my vertical measurements, since we're making a shirt, I have made a video on how to make a shirt dress before, so that explains everything, even a lot more than this. I'm going to just try to move through this as fast as possible since I've made a video about it already. Now since we're making a shirt, we want the back to come into the front a little bit. We don't want the line of the shoulder to sit up here, okay, like a regular shirt. We want it to come to the front a bit. So what we're going to do to the front is, when we're placing all our vertical measurements, we're going to throw away half an inch, 2 inches, sorry. So you see this here at the top, I'm going to keep 2 inches away. You see that I've kept 2 inches away, and at this point I'm going to mark all my vertical measurements. So my under bust length is 16. I'm going to make a mark at 16. I'm going to count 4 inches up, and that's where I'm going to place the bust. After 16, I'm going to come to where we have our half lengths. How I place my half length is 2 inches after my under bust length. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to come to this mark. You see this mark that we made over here, a place I called half length. We're going to come 8 inches after here, and we're going to make a mark for where our hip line is going to fall. So now we have placed most of the points. The next thing is to start placing all our horizontal measurements. So horizontal measurements are measurements that go around your body. So our bust is 39. 39 divided by 4 is 9.75. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a mark at 9.75 over here. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my under bust round. Now my under bust round is 34. 34 divided by 4 is 8.5. Now all the measurements that go around your body are divided by 4. So under bust round still went around 8.5. Make a mark here. Come down to this point, still make a mark at 8.5. Now you see this line where we came 8 inches after this point that we have here. Over here we're going to place our hip measurements. So the hip measurement is 46. 46 divided by 4. 46 divided by 4 for the hip is 11.5. So I'm going to come to 11.5 and I'm going to make a mark. Okay, all right, now the next thing we're going to do is let's also place our dress length. Okay, right, so I've shifted the paper up a bit. This is our bust, under bust length, half length. This is the hip. Okay, so now next thing is I need to place my dress lengths. So you've seen we have two dress lengths. Okay, we have, I said 36/44. That's because 36 is the length from the shoulder to where our cut is, because if you look if you look at the dress, you will see that there's a regular dress, and then close to the end of the dress you now have gathers attached to the bottom. So the distance from the shoulder to the point before the gathers will start is 36, and the length of the whole dress from the shoulder including the end all the way down to the hem of the gathers is 44. So that's why you have 36/44. So I'm going to come to 36 inches. All right, I'm going to come to 36 inches, and I'm going to make a mark and also rule the points from here all the way down at 36 inches. All right, so after you've done this, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come to the end of your dress that you have here. Okay, going to come to the end of your dress that you have here, and you're also going to place your hip measurements. So the hip measurements that we had is 11.5, so I'm going to place it here. Now if you look at the image, you'll see that after the hip it just went straight down, it didn't taper in at the bottom, so that's why we're doing this. Okay, next thing you're going to do is connect all the lines together. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the very top here, and we're going to place the shoulder measurements. We're done with the rest of the body, you just focus on the top now. So now for measurements, what we're going to do is we're going to place the shoulder on this top line. See this top line that we have over there? We're going to place the shoulder measurements at that point. So the shoulder is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. I'll make a mark over there. Okay, next thing we're going to do is you're going to come to this point where you made the mark. From the green line, you see this horizontal green line that we have, we're going to come down from that green line by 1 inch. Okay, from here to here, 1 inch, make a mark. Draw a line from this point all the way down. Okay, draw another line on top of it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place the armhole measurements. Now the formula for finding your armhole is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So the bust is 39. 39 divided by 6 plus 1.5 is equals to 8 inches. But remember, when we're placing, excuse me, remember, when we're placing the measurements that we placed on this part over here, we threw away 2 inches of the tape. Okay, we kept 2 inches from this green line. Okay, so you see this here, this bottom line that you have here, you're going to throw away 2 inches at that point, and you're going to come to 8 inches, and you're going to make a mark at 8 inches. Okay, when you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to still throw away 2 inches. You're going to come to the middle of 8, which is 4, and make a mark. Okay, so from the 2 inches, the top of the 2 inches to here is 8, the middle of 8 is 4. I've made a mark. You're going to come in by ½ an inch. Okay, come in by ½ an inch, and then make your regular curve. So to hold our dart, what we're going to do is we're going to come to the center. You're going to need to know the person's bust span. Okay, you need to know the distance between the two nipples. Okay, so from one side to the other, for this bust I'm working on is 9 inches. 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5. 4.5 plus ½ an inch for sewing allowance is equals to 5 inches. So I'm going to come to 5 inches, and I'm going to make a mark here. I'm going to make a mark here as well. Okay, so this is the line that we're working with. Okay, now you're going to come 1 inch after this blue line. You see the bust line that we have here, come 1 inch after and make a mark. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is you're going to place the length of the dart. The length of the dart that we are working on, that we're using, is 9 inches for the front. So you see that, simply connect a line from here to the top. Okay, the fullest point of the dart is going to be at this point here. So from the center line, these 2 points I just marked, is you're going to need to mark ½ an inch here, and you're going to need to mark ½ an inch here. So the next thing, because of this dart that we've made here, we're going to need to pay back the 1 inch that we have here. What we're going to do is to add our regular allowance. So the allowance I'm going to add to this dress is 1.5 inches. So after adding all those allowances, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to simply add ½ inch to the end of the dress. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bend the front of the allowance. You see this 1.5 inches we kept in front of the shirt when we marked the green line. I need you to fold it underneath for now. We're going to use this pattern when we're cutting the back. So you need this 1.5 inch to be out of the way because we need it for our zipper allowance in front, but we do not need it at the back. Okay, so I'm about to cut the back. So you can see at the end here, I've kept the paper on the same level. All right, so I need to keep the paper on the same level at the bottom. Okay, and notice that the part that I folded is sitting right on the edge. Okay, so now let's go to the top and begin so we can start drafting. Now the front and the back are very similar. The only place where we have a difference is at the top here. Now remember, when we're drafting the front, we threw away 2 inches because we had plans to give the back that responsibility. So we're going to have to pay back that part. We are using the front now to cut the back. So whatever we did to the front has automatically belongs to the back. So first of all, we need to replace the 2 inches for the back. And if we add the 2 inches that we took away from the front to the back, that's 4 inches. ½ inch for sewing allowance for the back, that's 4.5. I hope that is clear. If you don't understand it, pause, go back and listen to it again. Okay, so now I'm going to add 4.5 from this line. So you see this here, from this line that we have here, okay, from the bottom line that we have, I'm going to come from that point and I'm going to make a mark at 4.5, or you can say 4 inches from the top of the allowance. Okay, so make mark of 4.5 here, make a mark of 4.5 here, and then connect them together. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the top to this part here, and then we're going to draw our armhole. All right, so you see that's the only place where the front differs from the back, is that the back is going to be a lot higher than the front, and also at the armhole the back is not taken in by ½ inch. So the shirt has a neckline. Okay, it has a neckline. And if you notice, we have not said anything like neckline width or neckline depth, but we're going to do that now. So you see this, you're going to we need to make sure that you draw a line that shows where the ½ inch allowance for the back is, which is what I have done now. Okay, then you're going to bring the back. You see this here, you're going to align this ½ inch with this ½ inch. You see this ½ inch here, you're going to need to align it with this one over here. So we're going to bring that and align the both of them. Okay, align the both of them like so. Trim the armhole just a little if you need to. You see that? And now the next thing is the neck. Now when you're making a shirt, you need to take the distance around the person's neck. So you're going to come to the thickest part. You're going to come to the thickest part of the person's neck. Okay, the lowest part here. When you're taking the person's neck measurement, you need to take it low. Don't go and take it up here or in the center. You come to like the stump. I don't know if stump is the right word for it, but you come to the stump of the neck, the lowest part of the neck, when you're taking the shirt measurements. Okay, and when you have that number, the number I'm working with for this size is 15 inches. You're going to divide 15 inches by 2. You're going to divide 15 inches by 2, which is going to give us 7.5, and then you subtract 1 inch from 7.5, which brings us to 6.5. I'm going to now use 6.5 to make a curve. If you have a flexible ruler, it's going to make this a whole lot easier, but you want to use 6.5 to make a semicircle. So basically, so you see, I basically just marked the points, the edges around the 6.5, and I'm going to draw my cut. Okay, if you have a flexible ruler, it's going to make this a lot easier, but if not, it's possible. Take your time, bend whatever number you are left with, and use it to make your curve. Now when you are cutting, make sure not to pick up the front and the back when you are cutting around the neck. Make sure you pick up only the pattern that is meant for the front. Okay, so after you pick up the front pattern that's meant for the front, you can now cut around. You're going to cut around like so, cut around like so, cut around like so, until you cut out. You've seen that? You've seen that? Yeah, so that's how you do that. Okay, then next thing you do is you're going to open up the front and cut this part here straight. Now, I didn't keep my paper on the fold when I was cutting it because that would be unnecessary and just a waste of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my fabric on the fold when I'm cutting my fabric, but these patterns that you've just cut now will be used when you're cutting the fabric and when you're cutting the lining. For the front, in case you cut it on a fold, you're going to divide the front together because you need two pieces for the front. But like you saw, I did not divide the back, so do not divide the back. Okay. In the front, we need to mark where our darts are going to be in the. So to mark the dart points on the fabric, I'm going to simply place my paper on top, and you see this point here. You can see that this is where we have the darts. So you're going to come to the bottom. You're going to come to the bottom, make a mark, come to the center, make a mark, and come to the top and make a mark. Okay, you see these 3 points. Now we're going to simply trace it to the other side of our lining. So when you are on your machine, the first thing we're going to work on are the darts. Okay, so the points we just finished marking, the 3 points we just finished marking, I would show you how you go about one, and then you simply just do the same thing on the other side. So mind you, I marked all the points that I marked on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, it's on the wrong side. So what you're going to do now is you're going to simply pick it up. Okay, you're going to start from the top all the way down, but what you're going to do is this. At the top here, you're going to start from nothing. You're going to start from nothing up here, so right from the edge of the fabric. Okay, and as you come down, you're going to open up to 1/2 inch. By the time you get to the center, that center point that we marked, okay, and then you're going to taper back out to nothing. Okay, so that's how you go about it. I'm going to repeat the same thing on all the sides of my fabric. Now I'm going to head over to my ironing table, and I want you to iron all the sides that you just darted. I want you to iron them flat like so. Okay, so you can see here, this is the part we just stitched. Okay, and then look at this, it has been ironed. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to place the clean side of your lining facing the clean side of your fabric, and then you're going to come to the end of the neckline over here and join them together with only 1/2 inch. Make sure that the neat sides are facing themselves. Okay, you see that. Next thing we're going to do is head back to your ironing table, turn it to the front like so, iron this joining here completely flat first of all, then you fold it like this and iron it too so that it stays flat.